Hey everyone, so Starburst here. I have officially made it to Kennedy Meadows and I'm currently at Grumpy Bears. If you're a hiker, you have definitely been here. This is the vibe. Anyway, I'm very dirty and I haven't showered. You can see all the dirt still. I think that's the best way to answer all your questions that you guys gave me when I was in Tehachapi. You guys, thank you so much for asking me so many questions and just being so involved and so positive. I went through every single comment. I don't think I can answer every single question. I try to respond via, cell phone to some of the questions, but I am going to try to answer most of them. I hope this won't take too long, but once again, thank you guys so much for, just being involved and, being interested in my journey. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to probably butcher some people's names, but I'm gonna try. So several of you asked me about my glasses and contact situation. Let's see, Alan Schubert, Leah Maynard, and me, Matthews. So obviously you've seen me wear, stop it! Admiral is filming me. I'm gonna make him jump in here just for that now. So you've seen me wear glasses before. That's all I have on trail. I do not wear contacts. I'm nearsighted, so basically the glasses just help at night and then for long distances. Admiral's being distracting. This is why I do things alone away from people. But anyway, so I don't have contacts, so I can't really answer that question. I know a lot of other people do wear contacts and they have a good little system going, but I don't know what that is. Gina asked me, when did I start and when do I expect to finish? I started April 14th and I want to finish in like mid-September. But because I've taken a lot of time off and all of that, I'll have to do some bigger mile days, but hopefully I'll make that up in Oregon or some time frame there. Tana TV asked what got me into hiking and do I have any previous backpacking experiences? And I hiked a little bit when I was living in Reno, Nevada, around Lake Tahoe, but it wasn't until I moved to Hawaii and then I was hiking like almost every weekend because it's Hawaii and it's beautiful. But I didn't really get into backpacking until I moved to the Pacific Northwest, just because so many people do it, and it really helped me being able to go with people who already knew what they were doing and knew about gear. So there are like a lot of outdoor communities that you can access in places like the Pacific Northwest if you're completely new to backpacking, and there's so many people who are willing to help and get you started. And once I started backpacking, I loved it and I can't stop. Let's see, Spurious Effect asked, what do I carry extra to be comfortable? And I just posted a gear video, but it's just some clothing, like extra cotton t-shirts, maybe just some different options for like pants and tops. I don't like wearing the same thing every single day, all the time. So I think that's my extra items to be comfortable. Let's see, Christine Bizwabik. I don't know if that's how you say it. And Irene Hodupski. I'm totally butchering his names. But you guys both asked, like, when did I stop being afraid of being alone, since I am hiking this solo. And I love hiking alone and being alone and having my alone time, but I do still get nervous if I'm alone at night or night hiking alone. I prefer to sleep around people, even if I'm alone and I can just see a tent even like a couple 100 yards away. That makes me feel better. But I think that's always gonna be there, just that little bit more of anxiety of, being alone, and if something were to happen, whether it's with another person or an animal or just anything, that I was just like absolutely alone. But I've noticed that the more that I hike this trail in general, the more I'm starting to trust myself, trust the surroundings, trust the people, and I'm not as nervous, but I still am. But you just have to do it, I have no choice. So yeah, you just gotta like build up the courage and take baby steps, I guess. Let's see. All right, Rudio X asked, where do I store food at night in the desert? And I always just keep my food in my food bag outside of my tent. I never sleep with my food inside of my tent. It's just a habit of mine. So I just, if there's like a picnic table around or some kind of log, I usually try to put it on there. Not like squirrels can't climb up there or anything, but it just is off the ground. But if not, I just leave it on the ground. I haven't had a problem yet with anything trying to eat through my bag. All right, Hike Camp asked, what do I enjoy the most and dislike the most about the desert? The desert was so beautiful, and there are so many different microclimates that the scenery was like ever changing. And that's what I love the most about it. I was just constantly pleasantly surprised. I guess when I think of the desert, I mean, I'm from a desert, but I just didn't expect it to be that beautiful and have that many different kinds of plants and flowers and colors and everything. But what I dislike is the lack of water. That I struggled with that in some portions of the hike. Having no water it was a big mental challenge for me. So yeah. Let's see. Dan Hyatt and High Desert Forester asked if I've had any weight loss, and I have. I don't know how much. You hop on scales from town to town, but they're all different and they're like calibrated differently, so you don't know really what your true weight loss is, but I've definitely noticed it. My dad came and said that he definitely noticed that I had some weight loss, but there's been so many towns and I've eaten so many burgers and drank so much beer that it hasn't actually been as much as maybe you would expect. But pretty soon I'm getting into some areas with long stretches of no towns, and I'm sure something will happen. More weight loss will happen then. Let's see, Leah Maynard asked if I will flip-flop due to snow or continue through the Sierra with a group, and I'm not gonna flip-flop. The snow, I think, is starting to melt a little bit. I'm going off alone, but I'm sure I'm gonna see people, and my hope is to like, get on the same schedule with some hikers and then like go through places like Forester Pass with some other people, because that's still pretty heavily snowed in right now. And Willard Wooten asked if I did my enchantments through hike, if that was a prep for the PCT, and that wasn't. That was just something my friend and I wanted to do, but I did wear my ultras that trip to kind of break them in for the PCT, so I guess I was sort of a little prep. But let's see. Mike in Tokyo asked for any advice for like future PCT hikers or long distance hikers, and then what I would do different. In a minute, I'm gonna have Admiral step in, because Admiral has hiked the AT, the Appalachian Trail, and now he's on the PCT, and he's like an extremely fast, great hiker, and then I'm like the one who doesn't know what they're doing and is slow, but so to get two different perspectives. But for me, a lot of people like focus on gear and worry about their gear, but that's gonna change a lot, and you can change that so easily on trail. So I feel like to prepare for a long distance hike, I feel like mentally just making sure that you're doing it for your own right reasons, so that when the days that are really challenging for you come up, which they will, that you're able to rationalize with yourself and not do something extreme, like just quit the trail just because you're having a bad day. So just being mentally prepared for everything that's gonna come, because things are gonna go wrong, like regardless of how much you prepare, like physically or with your gear. That would just be my advice. I haven't completed a full through hike yet, so stay tuned for that. And what would I do different? I actually don't know if I would do anything different. This was out of my control, but I wish I was in better shape when I started the trail, but I did have that surgery a couple months before I started, and that was really hard. But I feel like I'm starting to get more in shape now, so I think just like trying to get in shape, getting used to elevation and things like that would be really beneficial. But yeah, let's hear what Admiral has to say. Okay, so you've probably seen him in some of my videos. This is Admiral.
How's it going?
Admiral, where are you from?
I'm from Denver, Colorado.
All right, so he's like done the Appalachian Trail, obviously doing the PCT now, but he's a very, we'll say advanced hiker. He's one of those crazy people that does like crazy mileage and does all that. So We'll ask him his advice for any future long-distance hikers.
All right, so I did the 18 in 2016 and doing the PCT now in 2018. Advice, the one universal one that you probably hear a lot that's probably give you the biggest return on your enjoyment of your hike is really just to get your pack as light as possible before you start. And then as you go through, just lighten it up as you go. Like what you don't use, you like go between two towns, you haven't used anything, there's a good chance you probably get rid of it.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's what I was saying, like gear, you can change it so much on the trail. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. But yeah, his pack is crazy light. And I put it on the other day and I was actually really upset at how heavy mine was compared to his. And mine is like average heavy. Yeah, average heavy.
Probably, yeah.
Average heavy. And his is really light, so yeah. But that's the thing, is sometimes ultralight gear can be more expensive. It can, you know.
To a point.
To a point. So like you just have to save up money, and if you can't have a ton of ultralight gear at first, like don't let that stop you from trying to hike. But it is obviously easier to have lighter gear, so.
I mean, there is a natural progression. Usually people start with like REI gear, and they get the lighter cottage gear, and they say, like, okay, I can go lighter with like expensive like CPAX gear or like other gear. It gets more expensive. As you go on, you can learn that ultralight is actually can be a lot cheaper than everything else. It's a result of like taking less than what everybody else would take.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've started that because I had a bunch of gear before I started the trail, and then like I could have done this whole trail with all of my gear, not having to spend one extra cent. But then I started getting, like he's saying, extra or different cottage company gear, and I'm already like thinking about certain things that I already want to replace later on. So, okay, so Renee Booth asked, "What is the most challenging thing I have faced?" And I don't really have like a good answer for that. Basically, it's been a lot of mental challenges of just whether it's like been the extreme heat or something like that. Not like me thinking at sometimes that I can't go on. Like this is so unbearable that I can't do this. But having to just like overcome that and understand like no, I have to like keep going. I have to get to the next water. I have to sometimes hike in the heat. I have to push my body. And so that's basically been it. Just, you know, literally mind over matter. Our bodies can do a lot of cool things if our minds allow us to. And so it's just been being confronted with new like challenges like that and just like learning how to adapt and overcome them. What do you think for you?
So my most challenging thing, if like leave it just the PCT this time, was I was doing a 51-mile day.
Yeah, he said 51 miles. 51.
Well, I was trying to go like 60 to 70 mile a day. But as the day progressed, I was still in the desert. We got to a point where like I got exposed. It was like 9 o'clock at night, and I was like maybe like a 70-ish sustained mile per hour winds. And it was like, I've hiked that before on the AT, but it wasn't so bad. But like, this was like a freezing cold wind. And I was also like, I was kicking up dust. It was like in a dust cloud. Like I think it was like really like phasey, like it was like foggy. It was like there's a bunch of dust everywhere. And it was so cold that I stopped for any like amount of time. And I started like shivering like really uncontrollably immediately. And like one of like my trail fears, if you will, is like being cold on trail. So like, I kind of struggle with that. So like I hit that point where I got really cold, and it's like mentally just like got to me. And I couldn't overcome it. I had a rock face that would block all the wind. I could stay warm, or I could keep hiking in the cold. And I just couldn't overcome that fear. I just ended up like calling it quits and camping a lot earlier than I wanted to.
Yeah, but you still did 51 miles that day. But yeah, I get it. I'm nervous about being really cold soon, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so Jen Randolph asked, why do I cold soak instead of having a stove? And Admiral doesn't have a stove either. But I don't even cold soak that much, but I don't have a stove because I know myself, and I know that if I had a stove and like coffee every morning, I would be getting out of camp hours later than I wanted to. I like to wake up and be efficient, you know, try to be, and pack up my stuff and leave. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but sometimes it does. And it's not so much about weight. It's just like I just don't want extra things. I'm just trying to like cut down as many things as possible. I haven't struggled with having no stove at all. I actually really like it. I feel like I've been eating some good stuff, like tortillas and like tuna or sausage, and then if I have avocados or cheese, you know, make a wrap. I mean, that's pretty good. So I don't know. Why don't you have a stove?
As for me, it kind of started in the AT. I started the AT with a stove, but even then, I only started using the stove for dinner. Like, I would just like boil water and then pour it in a bag with the other food and just like let it soak that way, and I eat it. But as time went on, it was just like there's certain times when you get like you're hiking a long day and you get tired, and you're like you have to just stop at the camp, set up your camp, you have to wait to like boil your food, and you're like, do I want to like wait and cook my food or just go to sleep right away? And sometimes people end up like going straight to sleep and not eating for the night, which is not necessarily all that fun. So cold soaking is kind of more convenient. Like, you can like at lunchtime throw some food in like in a little jar, throw some water in it, and you hike, and then as soon as you stop for dinner, your dinner is already prepared as soon as you stop.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, sometimes I get into camp and I just put up my sleeping bag and then I just pass out. So that's good. All right, let's see. Okay, Fuldo Lynn asked how to handle the heat. Everybody handles the heat differently. I feel like I struggle with it more than like Admiral and some other hikers, but then other people really don't do well. But I think just the key to that is just trying to wake up really early, like when it's still dark, and hiking when it's cooler out, the sun hasn't really come up, and then taking a long break in the day. That's what a lot of people do. And then as the like hottest part of the day starts to like go away, you start hiking again. And then night hiking is obviously cool. I sometimes just hike through the day because I'm an idiot, but yeah. What about you?
I'm one of those people that the desert heat really hasn't bothered me at all. Like, I don't have to carry as much water as everybody else, and it's just like I don't know, through life experiences, like just like it doesn't bother me as much. But I guess advice, like in the long extent, like it's kind of like a trade-off in the there's like the more clothes you wear, the less likely you get sunburned. Also, the more heat the hotter you're probably gonna get. So you gotta kind of find your medium. I wear like short shorts. They're actually like a woman's short shorts, so it actually provides like a lot of flow, like airflow through there. So like it helps keep like that area, that region like dry, so I don't get like any like chafing or anything like that.
Chafing is actually a thing, so it's good logic right there. Okay, so Winky Phillips asked, what do I prepare for breakfast? Usually I pack up my stuff and I start walking, and then 15-20 minutes later I'll get hungry, and then I'll just eat like a Cliff Bar or some kind of protein bar. And then second breakfast is usually I try to pack out some sort of fruit for at least the first couple of days, and then I'll eat the fruit and then oatmeal. If I don't have fresh fruit, I'll probably eat oatmeal. I just pour some cold water in it, and then maybe eat some scoops of peanut butter or something. Something easy, simple. What about you?
You have 2 breakfasts?
I have 2 breakfasts. 2 breakfasts.
Like
I'm a hobbit, yeah.
I mean, mine is really simple. It's just like the oatmeal packets. Like, I try to get the protein ones. They have like obviously protein in them, but also more calories, so that's kind of nice. But I usually just rip off the little top of the pack, and they're wax filled on the inside of the oatmeal packet, so you can just pour water straight in them. And I let them, got it cold soak for maybe like 10 seconds if you really want to, and I just eat it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll start hiking and then eat, or I'll hike first and then eat. It just varies on what the time of that day is.
Yeah. Cold oatmeal is like really good. I feel like I'm enjoying it more than hot oatmeal, but I don't know. All right, Philip Rich, August West, and Keith Andriota just asked if I was going to do any other long distance trails. And right now, I just am trying to focus on finishing this one. So I don't know. I may get done with this one and feel completely satisfied, and then just do some shorter ones like the Colorado Trail or something like that, you know, later on, but we'll see. He's in the AT obviously, but probably going to do the CDT at some point, right?
Yep. And
probably walk around the world somehow. We don't know. My friend Justin Kilgore actually asked, what do I miss about life off trail? And I mean, of course I miss things, but I really am enjoying life on trail. So I think basically it would just be like having like my cravings that I get on trail, just not being able to immediately satisfy those cravings. But it's a good character building for me, for people in general, just to not get what you want right when you want it. But that's what I'd probably miss. Yeah. Do you miss anything? Not really. I don't know. It's kind of hard because it's like I really enjoy being out here, so I don't know if I actually like really truly miss anything aside from talking to family, friends, and having a Diet Coke whenever I want.
I mean, like family and friends is like the common thing for everybody, but like outside of that, nothing really comes to mind.
Agreed. Slippery Storm asked me if my parents are meeting me anywhere on trail. I was just with my dad for a few days. He met me at Walker Pass, but he didn't hike with me. He just met with me. And then my family is gonna plan on meeting me from this point on the next, like 500 miles plus, since they live in Reno, Nevada. So they'll be able to easily like drive to me and see me. But I don't know if any of them are gonna like get on trail with me and hike. So we'll see about that, especially with my dad. We'll see. And let's see, Southwest Wilderness did ask if my dad won his golf game after he left me in the beginning. And I don't know, probably not. But but he still went golfing. He really did. He got off trail and then went golfing the next day. So that was a thing. It's commitment. But Southwest Wilderness also asked my best and worst trail food. Eating's been great. Like I was talking about, I love making, like whether I pack out tortillas or bagels, I try to switch it up. Some kind of tuna or sausage, and then avocado and cheese. Like this is really good. And then when I run out of like avocado and cheese, usually I'll put like some kinds of chips on there, or like I have like taco sauce, or you try to like change it up, and it's actually really tasty. And then you guys know about my night that I dipped Snickers into my peanut butter after I night hiked alone, and it was like the best thing I've ever eaten. So that was good. My worst trail food, I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't think I've really eaten anything bad. I got really sick of trail mix and like nuts. I got really sick of that. Like I'm still eating peanut butter, but I was just eating nuts and trail mix. I just can't do it anymore. But do you have anything you're sick of?
Sick of? Not quite.
Yeah,
the only food I've ever had I couldn't finish eating was one time on the AT. I got like an off-brand like maple sugar oatmeal, and I don't know why. It just like tasted horrible. I could not finish it. I'm like not eating the packets, having like nobody else like liked them on. I had like throw them on hiker box. I don't think anybody ever ate them.
They're like, this is gross. Mike Brewer asked if I have a bear bag or a bear canister. So I haven't had any bear anything up until this point, but pretty soon we're gonna hit a point where we have to carry bear canisters. So bear bags aren't allowed. It's the bear canisters that we need. And and he also asked if I carry bear spray. Initially I was going to, but I'm not going to now. And a lot of people don't out here. So my dad, when he came to visit me in Walker Pass, he brought it because my mom was like, she needs to carry this. And I looked at my dad, I was like, I'm not taking that, sorry. And you asked weight of my pack with everything. I don't know right now. I just know it's heavy. So my base weight just like increased like 5 pounds, no joke. That bear canister is heavy. And then I got my inflatable pad and warmer clothing. I just got a bunch of stuff, so it's just heavy. Weight of pack, heavy. That's what it is. Cindy Royce asked, how do I keep the bugs off of me while cowboy camping? And you don't. I think I woke up today and I think I've counted 8 bug bites, new bug bites on my body. Yep. Something was in my sleeping bag. Usually it's not that many, but today I counted 8. Yeah. So, you can't really, I mean, I guess maybe you can use a sleep liner and like suffocate yourself in there, but I don't really feel like I'm bothered by bugs when I'm sleeping. I don't know. I don't know.
You can pre-treat your all your, not your down stuff, but anything outside of down, you can pre-treat it like a permethrin treatment.
Yeah, but it's just there's bugs. Like, you're out in the wilderness. I think it's just one of those things, just like accepting that there's creepy crawlies, but a lot of times they don't really want to be on you. They're out at night doing their thing, and I don't know, I just don't think about it. So
it'll probably get worse here coming up after like once it gets like later in the summer and like later in the Sierra, I think it's like wetter weather. Probably a lot more bugs around.
Yeah, I get more annoyed by the gnats that hang around my face while I'm hiking. I'm less worried about the spiders and the things at night. I night hiked last week and me and a couple people saw like 10 scorpions while night hiking, and I still cowboy camped.
I haven't seen any scorpions.
You haven't seen any scorpions?
No.
I have a video. You'll see. I don't know. It just doesn't really bother me. Let's see. Oh yeah, Boots Uphill asked if I was sick of any food, and just basically trail mix. And then there's these like Pro Bar meal bars that I can't eat anymore because I ate so many in the beginning. They're still good though, but I just can't eat any. Let's see. All right, so several of you, I wrote Susie Flores down here, but I know many others of you asked about my medical issues since I did post a video before I left for trail. Yeah, they've come up a couple times. I thought I was having a cyst rupture one day. I got really sick. That's the day I only did like 8 miles, and that's why my dad met me at Walker Pass and not here at Kennedy Meadows, because I was not doing okay, and I just couldn't do enough miles to meet my dad in time. But for the most part, I actually feel pretty good. And then with my back surgery, my surgery spot hurts sometimes, but I think the other side of my back is compensating for the weakness where I had my surgery, and that hurts a lot, to the point that I just have like back spasms, and like sometimes I just have to throw my pack down every 20 minutes, which isn't good. But I'm trying to stretch more and just massage it and, you know, just take it day by day. But overall, I'm doing okay. And that's all I can be doing right now.
She's lying.
I'm not lying. I'm doing okay.
I was joking.
Okay. Let's see. Jamie, I can't even read my own handwriting. Niram. And then some MYZT1CZ3R0. Mystic, yeah. You guys are asking about my Garmin InReach and if it's helpful. And I mean, I haven't had to use it for its like purpose for like the SOS. But I use it to track my location so my family and friends can see where I'm at, and they really enjoy it. So it's helpful in that way. And then I get to send messages to them. Like if I can't talk to them for a few days, I can still text them and be like, hey, I'm safe, miss you, love you. And they know that I'm doing well. And then I can also check the weather. Like if I have no service, you know, that would be helpful. If I think a storm's coming in or something, I can check the weather. I haven't had to use that at all, but I do think it is helpful. It is expensive, but I just hope I don't ever have to really use it for what it's intended for, which is like the emergency portion. But yeah, a lot of you asked me how do I film and like edit. So I just film using, I have an iPhone 10 or iPhone X, and so it's pretty good video quality, I mean for a phone at least. I don't use a gimbal, and I don't have a camera or anything like that. And then I just edit, and I use iMovie. And I just keep it really simple, and then I just upload everything to YouTube. So I do try to edit on trail if I don't have long stretches where I need my battery. You know, if I need to conserve my battery and everything like that, I won't edit until I'm in town. So that's why sometimes I take 2 zeros, because editing videos and uploading them takes a while. But I really enjoy it. It's not a burden to me, at least not yet. But yeah, so simple. You guys can all download it. There's a lot of different video editing apps that you guys can use. iMovie's not fancy, especially on a phone, but I don't want anything fancy. So there's that. Dan Hyatt asked, what do I consume my mind with? And Starlight6278 also asked that. Yeah, I have a lot of time to think out here, like a lot, obviously. And sometimes I do get into like deep conversations with myself, I guess, or just replaying things from a very long time ago. They could be happy things, sad things. I have no idea why my brain just like thinks of them, but I do sometimes think of random memories I've had. But just a lot about people, how I'm feeling, my future. I mean, it's just like a whole wave of thing. And then sometimes I'm just thinking about like, this is so cool, I'm hiking the PCT, and it could be something very simple. I've started listening to some music in some areas, and that's been fun to just kind of like zone out and hike and listen to some fun music, because it got after about like 350 miles, it did get a little bit like tiresome of being constantly in my thoughts. So I like putting in music sometimes to kind of distract myself from that. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? What you think about when you hike?
It can be get ready for track sometimes. It can be like hiking, like random thoughts will pop in my mind. And there's a few times I'll get like on a really like thought train, and I'll just like not realize I'm hiking anymore. I'll like think in my head, and next thing I know, like hours later, I'm like miles down the trail. I'm like, oh shit, like it's been pretty quickly.
Yeah, I have talked to people who have like through hikes before or whatever, and said that they have gone through every single kind of emotion. Actually, I met someone, and I won't say her name, but she is at Kennedy Meadows is trying to write some letters to people, like good letters but not good letters. Basically, like she had worked through all these emotions on trail after years, and she was able to finally like come to like a resolution within herself on some decisions or whatever she was feeling. So I think that's really cool. So it definitely can bring out like these deep emotions and things in you, and hopefully it's usually all works itself out on the trail, which I think is really cool. It's very therapeutic. Tina Marie Brownie and Megan Hendricks both asked just about like hygiene on the trail. I think you're specifically referring to female hygiene, but basically it's kind of all the same for all of us. I just feel like just wet wipes are your best friend. I don't know. I'm kind of dirty. Some people will take like a wet wipe shower every night, like feet, calves, arms, everything, and I don't do that. I feel like I get so dirty that I don't have the ability to carry as many wet wipes as I would need to take a wet wipe shower every night. But I just try to keep, you know, like the intimate parts, the private parts clean, the armpits, and then I let my feet and my legs just stay dirty until I get to a town. Or if you come across a stream, I try to, you know, like kind of rub off the dirt in the stream. But you're dirty, you're out here hiking, like, yeah, that's just what life is. Do you have like a hygiene system or something?
I mean, it's a bit hard in the desert. It's not as much water, like.
Yeah, that's true.
But after a while, you can kind of get used to the dirt. But at the same time, you're in a town. You want it to be like every 3 to 4 days or 2 days if you want to. So you don't have to keep in the dirt. I don't use wet wipes, but if I really do, I can like grab my water bottle, like throw some water on me, like bird bath it if I need to.
Yeah, that's true. The desert, obviously, there's like a ton of dirt and not a lot of water, so you just have to be comfortable with not having a lot of access to that kind of thing. But there's like, we just came across the Kern River, and I hopped in and I washed as much dirt off of me as I could, and then I hiked several miles into Kennedy Meadows, and I was covered in dirt again. So, but you know, you just do the best you can. Tina also asked how to treat heat rash, and I've gotten heat rash a few times. I think you guys have seen. I've gotten it when I was wearing long pants. Like even Admiral was saying, like, you're protecting yourself from the sun, like from a sunburn, but it was trapping a lot of heat, and I got a heat rash that way. And then I also get heat rash when I'm wearing shorts, but the shorts feel better, so I stick with that. I don't know how to treat it. I don't do anything. I don't have like, I can't take like an oatmeal bath or something like that. I just really try to put as much sunscreen on as possible and just be very good about that and having like good sunscreen, because I really don't want skin cancer. All right, Chelsea Glitter Lizard asked how old I am. I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm 28, and she doesn't care how old you are, but how old are you?
29.
29, okay. Most of the people on trail tend to be like college grads or like retirees, so we're kind of like in the middle. We're outliers. We're outliers, but it's good. You can do this at any age. You just gotta go for it. Let's see. Chris Finney asked if I feel isolated, and I do not. There's so many people on trail. There's times when I do want to be alone, and so I can make myself be alone. And then there's times if I want to be with people, then I can be with people. So you just can you can make it with however you want on trail. I don't think you feel isolated. You're hiking with Saltine. He's hiking with somebody. So you're not really isolated. You're like ball and chain attached. Yeah.
I'm not happy that way, but.
Bike Rob asked like how to help me, like Patreon or boxes or anything like that. But nothing, just, he's just laughing. Stop. I don't want, like, I don't have a Patreon, I don't have anything like that, but just, you know, you guys being, like, positive and encouraging is just been the best for me to come back from not having service for a few days and seeing all like the positivity and the encouragement and everything. So that's just amazing. Thank you very much. And let's see, Megan Hendricks also asked what has surprised me most on the trail, and I kind of talked about it when talking about the desert, just like how beautiful Southern California is. I was never a fan of SoCal in general before this, but hiking through all of like the desert and the mountain ranges down here, it's just blown my mind. I thought it was so beautiful, so unexpected, but in so many positive ways. So that's what has surprised me, along with meeting like so many cool people from all over the world. It's been a blast. So what about you?
Really, kind of like all like the flowers you see, like like all the, there's a lot of wildlife you like in the desert and like running around and stuff.
Yeah, it's been nuts. I didn't even know like half of this stuff existed. But basically, the last main question everyone was asking was wanting me to do like a food resupply video, and I will do that at some point. So I'll take care of that later. But basically, that was it for now. Thank you guys so much for all of your questions and just being involved and just being interested in my life and supporting me. Yeah, but I am about to leave and head out to the Sierra either tonight or tomorrow, and so that'll be a whole new adventure. So I hope you guys stay tuned, and once again, thank you so much. And Admiral says, bye.
Bye. Have a good day.